Death be a cruel mistress, and she sure doesn't like to be cheated. And neither do I when it comes to ranking the Final Destination movies. With the 6th installment, Final Destination Bloodlines, creeping into theaters next month after a 14-year hiatus, I thought it was time to revisit this iconic franchise that's haunted millennials for decades. This franchise didn't just give us a great concept, it made us paranoid about everything from tanning beds to log trucks. Speaking of log trucks, if you're a millennial, you know exactly why we'll never drive behind one the same way again. Also, and this may be just the old man speaking for me, but I can clearly tell when someone's been raised by Netflix versus someone who's been raised watching these schlocky flicks. Some of y'all just have no fear. Anyway, today we're ranking all 5 Final Destination movies from worst to best, breaking down what makes this series endearing, and throwing in some Rotten Tomatoes scores to see who's right when it comes to these damn movies. Let's get to it. Dest Design's about to get an enema.
You suck, you jackass!
Howdy, and thanks for clicking on this video to see what this jackass has to say. I appreciate ya. So the Final Destination series isn't really your typical horror franchise. There's no Jason, no Freddy Krueger, just death itself. Hunting down those who dared to dodge their fate through premonitions and Rube Goldberg-style accidents. I think it's a concept so simple yet so brilliant that it turned everyday objects into instruments of terror. To prepare for the 6th movie, I wanted to count down the 5 films that made us a little more paranoid and a lot more entertained.
Let's fucking go.
Number 5, The Final Destination. Starting at number 5, we have The Final Destination, the 4th movie. And man, this movie's a train wreck. This is pretty much universally agreed upon by most fans of this franchise as being the worst. I fall into this category as well. I think it's so terrible, it's almost unwatchable, and I'm not exaggerating for effect. The plot in this one kicks off with a racetrack premonition that's supposed to set the stage, but honestly, it's just an excuse for shitty CGI tires to fly at your face in 3D. The acting's stiffer than a corpse and rigor mortis, the plot's thinner than the budget after they splurged on those shit-ass 3D effects, and the kills are gory, sure, but they're cheap and forgettable. Almost like someone threw a dart at a list of random objects and said, yeah, escalator death, that'll do. I also think the ending's just a lazy shrug, as if the writers gave up halfway through and went home. Let's be honest, this one's a soulless cash grab that forgot what made the series so special. It just wanted to profit on the gimmick of the time, which was 3D. And Rotten Tomatoes backs me up on this. 28% from the critics, 29% from the audience. For once they're both in sync, the world agrees. This one sucks.
Sucks ass.
Number 4, Final Destination 3. Now this is where things start to get a little bit dicey. I like the rest of these movies. I feel like this franchise has some passionate fans, so rankings are really all over the place. But my choice for number 4 is the 3rd installment. Bringing back the OG director who kickstarted the franchise, James Wong, Final Destination 3's a great concept. A roller coaster premonition that kicks things off with a bang, or a crash rather. Wendy, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, sees the disaster coming, saves a few folks, and Dest starts picking them off one by one. I think the Dests are the real stars of this one here. Probably some of the best in the series. Who can forget the tanning bed scene? It's horrifying, hilarious, and probably why some of us still avoid salons.
Gym, tan, and laundry?
But here's why I'd put this movie in 4th place. The plot feels like a remix of the first 2 films. And let's be honest, the characters are about as deep as a kiddie pool. It's fun, but it didn't really push the franchise forward. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 43% from the critics and 58% from the audience. I think the audience is closer on this one. It's a solid popcorn flick, nothing more, nothing less. Number 3, Final Destination 5. Landing at number 3 is Final Destination 5, one that I thought was a shockingly good rebound after the 4th film's faceplant. The story follows Sam, who's off to his brother's wedding when his girlfriend Molly dumps him. He's also torn over a job offer in Paris. Sam and his team are all headed to a business trip team building retreat when Sam dreams of a bridge collapse that wipes most of them out. He snaps awake, saves 8 of the group, but in classic fashion, Dest's not done with them yet. Agent Jim Block, played by Courtney B. Vance, investigates and thinks Sam's full of it, while Coroner William Bloodworth, the late great Tony Todd, R.I.P., drops cryptic hints about a way out. So one of the things I really like about this movie is the opening bridge collapse. It's a huge step up from the racetrack mess in the Final Destination. The CG's a bit slicker, the set pieces feel real. For the most part, there's some green screen cracks that you can really see nowadays. And the suspense I thought was cranked up to the max here. It's a visceral kickoff that hooks you hard. The kills that follow are vintage Final Destination, twisted, intense and darkly funny. Also, the misdirection is strong in this one. The laser eye surgery death is a standout. There's something so creepy about that close-up on the eye that'll make you wince every time. The gymnastics kill Ben's reality in the best way, and the 3D actually adds to the chaos in this one instead of feeling like a gimmick and just tacked on. I think the cast holds it together. I mean, the Final Destination movies aren't well known for their acting, but for me, Tony Todd's Bloodworth really stands out and is as spooky as ever. Also, the final twist, it's a brilliantly constructed gut punch that ties the franchise together. No spoilers, but I think it's chef's kiss territory.
Yeah, man, it really tied the room together.
And that kill montage at the end, it's like Dest's highlight reel, and we're here for it. This particular entry is the highest rated one on Rotten Tomatoes, as critics gave it 62%. 52% from the audience. I tend to lean with the critics on this one. It's a solid return to form. It's nothing special, but it was far better than the one that preceded it. Number 2, Final Destination 2. Coming in at number 2 is Final Destination 2, the sequel that grabs the original's playbook, sprinkles in some pitch black humor, and says, let's make death even weirder. We kick off with Kimberly Corman, played by AJ Cook, who gets hit with a bone-chilling vision. A highway pileup so nasty it's gonna take her life and her friends as well. She freaks out, blocks the entrance with her car, and watches in horror as the crash explodes behind her. She saves herself and the poor sap's queued up behind her, but the Grim Reaper, oh man, he's pissed. He's not about to let these survivors off the hook. He's coming to claim every soul that should have punched their ticket in that wreck. If you're gonna make a sequel, it's really gotta bring something fresh to the table, or why bother, right? Well, I think Final Destination 2 sticks with the first film's winning formula, death hunting down survivors, but I think this one stirs in a more black humor and a crazier death design broth. That opening highway pileup is horrific, iconic, and the reason I still white knuckle it past logging trucks. From there, it's a wild-ass ride of an assortment of folks getting often gruesome, laughably over-the-top ways. The writers of this one try to get fancy by weaving this into the original story, but it's devilishly nonsense fun, and that's why it's great. The cast keeps it lean and mean. Ali Lauder's back as Clear Rivers, serving up some survivor grit for her second helping, while a bunch of no-mark actors fill out the roster just waiting for death to RSVP. And honestly, that's perfect. That's what makes these movies great. The genre thrives on disposable characters, and we're too busy cackling and wincing at the carnage to care. Honestly, I think this is the funniest one of them all. It's a blast from start to finish. It's horror with a wink, and it's damn good at it. Critics on Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 50%, but the audience gives this one a 69%.
Nice.
Trust the crowd. This one's a bloody good time. Number 1, Final Destination. Honestly, for me, number 1 and number 2 could be interchangeable just depending on my mood. But for now, the top spot goes to the one that started it all, Final Destination. This movie launched a franchise full of over-the-top action, outrageous gore, and characters you often couldn't give a shit about. Yet in this one, none of those really apply. It's the foundation, the blueprint, and it stands out for all the right reasons. So let's break it down with the death scenes. Unlike the later films that dialed the gore up to cartoonish levels, this one keeps things subtle and clever. Some kills are really drawn out, stretching the tension until you're practically chewing on your nails, like the bathroom strangulation scene. The others, yeah, they're a bit predictable, but they still hit you with a thrill because you're braced for the inevitable. And then there's the plane scene, chaotic, intense, and a total gut punch. I think about it every time I'm about to take off in a plane. It's the moment that sets the tone, making you question every creak on your next flight. Aside from one decapitation, the gore's surprisingly restrained, leaning more on dread than splatter. Now the characters. In my opinion, this is where the movie boasts the best ensemble the series ever had. And it's largely thanks to Devon Sawa as Alex Browning. He brings a relatable everyman charm, half paranoid, half hero, that makes you really want to root for him. The supporting cast satisfies too. Sean William Scott's quirky energy, Kerr Smith's intensity, Ali Larder's grit. They're not just death fodder, they've got personality. In a genre where characters are as disposable as they are, these folks actually stick with you. Beyond that, there's subtle humor, a touch of drama, and a hefty dose of creativity woven into the mix. This isn't a typical slasher flick, no mass psycho or dream-stalking boogeyman. Instead, it's just death itself, faceless and relentless, orchestrating the carnage like an invisible puppet master. It was a bold move, and I thought it pays off gangbusters. Is it perfect? Not even by a long shot. It's got flaws, plot holes you can fly a 747 through, and some downright ridiculously silly moments. But for what it's worth, it was the beginning, and it remains a fun watch despite the slew of even more over-the-top installments that followed. Final Destination carved its own path, made us a little more paranoid, and delivered a killer concept.
Pun very much intended.
That still really holds up. So why do we keep coming back to Final Destination? I don't think it's just the body count. It's how it turns the ordinary into a death trap. Nothing's safe anymore. The idea of cheating death only to get hunted down taps into our deepest fears, but the dark comedy keeps it light enough to really enjoy these movies. The kills are like sick little puzzles. You're grossed out, but you're glued. The cast helps. Devon Sawa's everyman vibe, Ali Larter's grit, even Tony Todd's eerie cameos. The good of these movies are the ingenious deaths and the killer premise. The bad of these movies is when it gets too gimmicky. The Final Destination, I'm looking right at you. At its peak, this series is just a paranoid thrill ride. With Final Destination Bloodlines dropping next month, this franchise back after 14 years. Details are a bit thin, but it's promising new blood and new traps with the same old death. Will it recapture the original spark or crash like number 4? I don't know, only time will tell. For now, rewatch those classics, avoid log trucks, and get ready. Death's got a new list. And if you don't think I nailed it, I'm sure I'm next on Death's hit list, right? Let me know in the comments. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you're ready for my Bloodlines take next month. Until then, stay safe and maybe skip that bridge commute. As always, the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone, but what do I know? I'm but a mere jackass. I'll try to do better next time. Catch you later, friends.
That talks too much. I'm just a jackass of all trades. Don't know shit. I'll keep on talking, acting like I'm so legit. From politics to sports, I'm about my faith.